Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. What? What's up, gamers? Remember those gamers that filed a lawsuit against Microsoft about the Activision Blizzard deal? Well, their case is about to be dismissed, and the case even it gets even deeper. They have to redraft the case, refile it, and the lawyers that was representing those gamers, they tried to subpoena Jim Ryan. Listen to this. Man, for the love of money. But anyway, says here, gamers lawsuit versus Microsoft Activision deal will be dismissed soon. Here's why. This seems to be a frivolous lawsuit filed by lawyers looking for a quick buck. Says here, the so-called gamers lawsuit filed versus the Microsoft Activision deal is soon set to be dismissed. It says here, the lawsuit is completely independent of the FTC lawsuit seeking to block the deal, as shared by IDAS over on Restoria. MLEX report that the lawsuit from gamers has been dismissed and they'll need to redraft their complaints. Says here, whoops. Let me get this pop-up out the way here. A lot of pop-ups on this website. Says here, if I got this right. Okay. Now I got it. Says here, Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley raised concerns about a lack of evidence / numbers, precise arguments about the harm arising from the deal, and the definition of the relevant market. It says this is a completely separate lawsuit from the one filed by the FTC to block the deal, and is being presided upon by Judge Michael D. Chappelle. Says here, this lawsuit was filed by 10 individuals who identify as gamers who play Activision Blizzard games, including Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. As reported by the AP, this suit was filed in December after the FTC lawsuit. However, there's more to this case than meets the eye, as you will see below. Says Florian Mueller, a game and app developer who has also had a lot of experience on the legal side of game industry and as an activist, share his commentary on Twitter on this situation on Twitter. Then it says MLEX apparently attended yesterday's court hearing in San Francisco. The judge will soon grant a motion to dismiss the so-called gamers. Then it says in parentheses, actually lawyers, and more appropriately losers. It says here, lawsuit without prejudice means it's back to the drawing board. They can refile. First they got to redraft, now they got to refile. It says here, why not? It says here, why not? Gamers, and then it's in quote, but then it says, but lawyers, in quotes, are losers. Because it makes no sense for a gamer to sue Microsoft when the worst case scenario is basically to grab an Xbox. Just a gamble by lawyers hoping to earn fees. Then it says in parentheses, sick. Those lawyers lose merger cases all the time. Then it says, those lawyers / losers sought to piggyback on the FTC's case. So what Florian is saying is that this lawsuit is somewhat unserious, as it isn't really the plaintiff listed or pursuing the case, as it is the lawyers. They are hoping the FTC win their case so that they can also get an easy win and make some money off Microsoft along the way. For the love of money. Anyway, it says here, Florian shared further context on this case in his blog a few days earlier. It turns out the lawyers in this case tried to subpoena Sony too, but they aren't interested. Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan is making the lawyers serve their papers at his country of residence in the UK. This means a bigger hassle for them, while Jim is busy arguing their case versus the deal to the regulators instead. This may not be the last we will hear of this case if these lawyers redraft their case and refile. Ultimately, it's only a sideshow to everything else going on in the Microsoft Activision deal. End of case. End of article. Yeah. Mm. Redraft and refile, huh? Okay. Then you went after Microsoft, but now you were relying on the FTC, but now you're going after Jim Ryan. Mm. For the love of money, man. Look, I'm not going to say Microsoft is exempt from the courts. They're not. But if you're going to file a case against Microsoft, make sure you have some real concrete evidence to file against them. For instance, let's say the Xbox enforcement team ban you off Xbox, right? Ban you off their networks, and they say that you're hacking their network, but you never did. And let's say they give you a list of stuff, saying that you did this, and this, but you never did. And let's say you have never opened your Xbox, nor have you ever run any mods or emulation on it. And then there's three things that's protecting you with your Xbox. One, you never open it. Two, the eject features. And three, the registry within the operating system. Those three. So if you have never done any of the above, and the Xbox enforcement team ban you off their network and try to force you to buy a new Xbox, now you got a case. And this is why I was telling people, like, okay, if you get banned off Xbox, never throw away your console, because that is your evidence. So when you go to court, make sure you have your evidence. Make sure your I's are dot, T's are crossed, and Y's are looped. And these people didn't have none of the above. Their I's weren't dot, their T's weren't crossed, and their Y's weren't looped. And they were using lawyers to try to do a cash grab. The judge told them to redraft, refile. Then they were using the FTC. Using the FTC to try to piggyback off them. And then they turn around going after Jim Ryan. But now Jim Ryan wants those papers to be served in this country. Yeah. People are greedy out here, man. I'm not saying that these corporations are exempt from the courts. No, they're not. No one is. But if you're gonna go to court, make sure you got some real concrete evidence, you know. And it's not always about money all the time, you know. Some cases it is about money, but other times it's not. But if you're gonna go to court, make sure you have your evidence, you know. I mean, make sure you have everything before you file it, you know. Make sure your I's are dot, your T's are crossed, and your Y's are looped. So yeah, yeah. These people look like like wasted their time. You know, it's one thing to go in to file a case, but now you got to explain to the judge why you're filing this. You know, and then you go in the courtroom and you don't have enough evidence, but now you are using the FTC. You're using the Federal Trade Commission case to help you with yours. Yeah, that looks bad, man. Right. And those lawyers, man, that's a L on their record too. You know, and that's the difference between lawyers that are at the top that do good, very good, and the ones that are at the bottom, man. So yeah, when you go into court, man, you better have your evidence, man, and your argument together. Yeah. And by the looks of this article, don't look like it. So they got to redraft and refile. Lesson learned. Yeah. And that judge, Jacqueline Scott Corley, she probably saw through. She saw through the case before it even got started. You know, took a quick look at it and like, nah. You know, yeah. Raise questions, you know. And now they got to refile it and redraft it. Yeah, I'm not saying Microsoft is not exempt from the courts. No, they're not. Nor is Sony. But if you're gonna go up against these companies, man, make sure you have a good case. You know, a good case. And I'm not saying that Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo is exempt from the courts. No, they're not. they're just like civilians too, you know. So, um, uh, if you're gonna go to court against them, make sure you have everything in order, you know, and make sure you got a strong argument, you know, and take it from there. But it's obviously these gamers don't. So the question is, are they gonna refile it? I seriously doubt it. Are they gonna redraft it? Nah. I mean, getting a case dismissed hurts, man. Getting a case dismissed, you know, and you know, it humbles you too, you know. Getting a case dismissed, it hurts, but it humbles you, you know. So, maybe these gamers learned their lesson, you know, and these lawyers too, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that courtroom is nothing to be played with, man. And that's the difference, man, between there's two type of lawyers. Lawyers that are up here and lawyers that are down here. Yeah. Two types. Yeah. Big time lawyers, they rarely lose cases. Very rarely, you know. Very rarely. So yeah. Yeah. What a price to pay, man. Yeah. I remember when they first filed that case too. You know? And now, you know, they should have stopped themselves in their tracks, you know, like, you know what are we doing? You know? But I guess they had so much anger built up, you know, about Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. You know? And then they went into courts now, but then to find out now they were using the FTCs. They were trying to write off the FTC. Anyway, I'm going to leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars and Star Trek Flag, or Dark Side. Come on. Peace.